One of the most technical bags you're gonna find on the market right now. Available in 4 sizes, 2 messengers and 2 slings. Got a foam structure that wraps all the way around the bag. So your laptop, your camera, whatever you have in here is protected all the way around 360. And yet it's not so foamy or padding that it feels like a box or a brick or a jetpack. I don't like that. They nailed the shape of these panels. They just nailed a good little balance, which makes sense because these were designed by 2 industry legends. The exterior materials are made from virgin nylon with a waterproof nano coat of carbonate. It's a totally waterproof material that's dirt, pet hair, and mud resistant. Right? Easy to clean off. These are gonna look really nice for a long time. There are tons of great details, like these little zipper pulls, just nice and tasteful. I really like this feather logo. But take this strap and back panel, for example, right? This is like a backpack strap. It has high density foam and low density foam, and when you bend it, look, there's like no wrinkles. That's the kind of detail that I feel personally every time I put this thing on. Also, it's nice that the handle doubles as a luggage pass-through. That's the kind of thing these people have thought about, not to mention the details on the inside and the organization. So, let me show you how I have these packed out and highlight some of what I feel like is like insane organization. But first, this episode is brought to you by Vaer watches. Vaer make these beautiful, iconic looking watches that won't end up breaking the bank, but you get something that's super stylish. I love this R1 chronograph. I do love all the detail and spirit in this thing. It's designed sort of after these racing watches of the 60s and 70s. I also love this A5 field watch. These are in 36 to 38 millimeters. They have bigger watches. I tend to like one a little bit smaller. Maybe I have a dainty wrist. I don't know. They're assembled here in America, and you have multiple straps that you can put on so that you can change the look and feel of your watch without having to get a whole new timepiece. I've been super impressed with the quality of just the straps and the crystal sapphire face or whatever it is that doesn't break, and it has it's good for water stuff. All their stuff seems to be made for going into the ocean and doing actual things. It's a rad brand. I haven't taken this watch off since I got it. So shout out to Vaer. You can use my link in the description. There's 10% off for you in there. Check out what they got, and when you purchase, let them know where you came from. Thanks. Okay, here's the biggest messenger. You've got 2 fidlocks right here. And notice how this has this, like, see how it's like closed in? See how it like automatically closes itself in? But it's a light elastic. So look at how much more expansive it gets with not a lot of pressure. Just a little bit. When I'm using this to access my stuff, it ends up making a big difference because everything's nice and compact when I don't need it. But my visibility, because I'm gonna need visibility because there's so many different pockets and things in here. Let me get this water bottle out of the way. 2 water bottle pockets on either side that collapse away. By the way, behind them, some meshy pockets, and look at this panel here. Tons of gorgeous magnetic organizations and bits and bots to put things. Look at this center column right here. You've got this beautiful performance mesh, a little tab, 2 organizers here on the outside, then a bunch of little spots for your dongles and your pens. iPad, which by the way has a nice little magnet. How do they work? 16-inch MacBook, which by the way fits in both of the bigger ones, okay? Both of the messengers you can fit a 16-inch MacBook in. These kinds of details where the thickness of this thing, where the laptop is up against, not only is it protective, but it just feels good to move around. And then the thinness with the magnet of this one with a little pull tab that is almost more like a suede feeling. I doubt it's real leather at all, but it's perfect little texture. You've got a big zippered spot right here where I've thrown a hard drive, where you could throw your keep it out of the way, like keep it secret, keep it safe, like something you don't want people to see, you know? Like your, so it's a just perfect size, I'd say, for like an 8.5 by 11 to keep your, if there's stuff you want to keep sort of secret. There's also like a key strap in here. I don't know, something like your papers, you know, your business papers, man. Little suede pull tab. Look at this little guy. It's got another little sort of like hook that you can get your finger in. 2 meshies on the outside here. 1 big meshie. Some spots for your dongles and your pens and things like that. Look how beautiful that pen is. Mark II from Studio Neat. Then you've got a nice little, like, just put something in here. And a zippered guy where it's like, oh, put something in there. And these side access, which you can get to, by the way, when the bag is closed. So that's where I put my, like, keys and my AirPods. You can easily zip in and out of these on either side. I like that side because when I flip it around, you know, I've got it right here when I need to get to, you know, my AirPods because I don't want to talk to you anymore. I'm gonna listen to my podcast. Little subtly different material right here on this front panel, right? Which is probably the same, yeah, as these sort of details here. I don't know, that just feels like the perfect, it's not a different color. It's not a different coating. It's a slightly thicker warp or weave or denier or whatever. You know what I'm talking about. The one thing I've noticed on these is you have 2 straps, right? You got 2 straps, which I need that security, especially if I'm carrying my laptop or one of my bigger cameras. You got 2 straps to clip on. By the way, this whole like adjustment thing with this guy, you just hold this up here while you do it. They have this custom little bit. It's super simple. Right? It doesn't have all these bells and whistles or a snap down and a lock, but it just feels so good. Okay, so that guy's available in 2 sizes. Both of these are exactly the same. You have the same pocketing in both of these. They both even fit a 16-inch MacBook. And it's kind of nice to have the smaller, but if I'm already carrying that, I personally, it's like nice to just have the bigger because the way that elastic works, how it holds everything in, even though it has a ton of capacity, when it's not filled up, it like holds itself better. I love it. It's like it's a bag that holds itself while it's holding you. All right, now let's talk about these slings. Lovely shape. Just this like compact, punchy little bulge. It like feels, there's a term I use with soft goods. I call it density, right? There's a density here. There's it's not that it's heavy. It's just there's something about this that feels like, it feels coherent. I love this strap. This strap just feels perfect amount. It has a mesh that goes up around the edges, so even if you're wearing a tank top or something like that, that feels good. The adjuster, like I said, feels great. You can easily get it loose to take it off and not have to do that whole like, It is a simpler layout. We don't have clips. We have this magnet. Oh, which I love. Oh, it's so nice. Oh, just to be able to like flop something down and throw it on your back. You also have zips, right? I would probably tend to leave it open unless it's bulging quite a bit because the magnets do need to be able to clip down. So if it's bulging at all, then I just do that. Inside this one, this is like sort of my little day carry when I don't need my computer. I've got a book that I'm reading, got my daily notebook, a meat stick, like my little notebook from Studio Neat. There are some things in here that feel absolutely like, okay, you can't, can I show you this? On right here, around the edges of this panel, there is some mesh just on the edges. And then this panel itself, with the nice little like logo and QR code and stuff, that looks kind of nice, has just a tiny bit of structure inside of it. Same pull tabs, magnets, zipper back here, more meshies. 3 little meshies hide stuff away. But again, this mesh on the side of that panel, feels so good. And the same thing's happening on the front panel, which is sort of designed, I think, probably for just throwing in your phone. Although this one has a little bit of, not quite velour, but a nice soft feeling inside. Maybe for glasses or something, but that's likely where I might throw my phone, just because I like the softness. But that like magnet straight in, that feels, I'd prefer to put my phone in there and flop this over than I would to unzip this guy where you have another pocket and throw some, I don't know, snacks or things that you need right in here. You also have a hidden pocket back here on the side, just on this side, not on the other side, and a little clip that goes in here. On the little guy, I was using this just to carry my camera around. which felt good. But here's the deal, it still has the same panels, slightly smaller. You got the same secret pocket back here, perfect for an air tag or something. This guy, zipper, a little bit of material on the inside there. Unzip this behind here. You still have some meshes to keep stuff from flopping around, and your zipper on front. These slings just feel so good, right? My 11-inch iPad could just fit in here, but it's not like ideal the way that I have a case that keeps my Apple Pencil there. Otherwise I lose it. Okay, so I'm typically a backpack guy, you know? I'm typically a backpack guy. But using this messenger has felt so good. It's made me be like, it's nice just throwing it on, throw it down on the ground, open it up. They don't stand up on their own, right? That's something you're gonna have to, I'm constantly like opening this up and I'll just lean it against the leg of the table. But they're sort of oriented towards, for example, look at this back padding. Look at like this, you feel it when you put it on. It's tons of breathability. They're really oriented towards a life in movement. They're oriented towards getting you out and around. The feather, by the way, like signifies guidance, right? I love these. I think they're really like, the material feels good. The organization is so specific, and yet I just find myself using just a few of those pockets where I need to, and not a lot of the meshes and the little secret insides. I don't tend to need that. And it doesn't get in the way, right? Some bags there have so much organization and it can kind of get in the way. Like you forget, like where's that thing? Everything here makes sense, but I think I just really like the shape and the feel of the material of these. So if you're in the market for a messenger or a sling or both, check out Fara. Again, these are two industry legends. The Wookiees, they've been designing bags for a really long time, and I think this is their first time making their own brand. So, sick. Let's see what we got for the Ramble here. I'm gonna open up my Studio Neat notebook. I'll link to these below. A practice. All right, this one, all right, fine. I was talking to this guy the other day whose mom was a Sufi priestess. White lady, but she has a teacher. She studied with him for forever, like, you know, picture of the guru on the wall kind of thing. He was telling me about the Sufi version of what church, I think it's called zikr. Do you have any experience with that? If you do, let me mention it in the comments. What was it like for you? He said it's a practice of remembering God. And that just felt really simple. Now, hold on, some people are gonna freak out on that word, God, for good reason. I wasn't raised in Christianity at all, but I became trained as a pastor. I got into Christianity, evangelical Christianity in high school, and I was like, this is what I'm gonna do. And I got trained to be a pastor. And now I would say Jesus and I have an open relationship where we're like seeing other people. We occasionally text. That's where I'm at, but I'm still fiercely internally motivated from a spiritual perspective. Like there's like layers of experiencing life. There's this like meat space layer. It's like, fuck, fight, stay alive. Like, this like, you know, fucking, right? And I've had moments where I feel like I'm in that. If I'm living from there, I'm not making great decisions. Unless it's like, that's a fucking lion, we gotta get the hell out of here. Then my body is brilliant. Most of the time, that email from a customer or, you know, the remark from a lover is not an actual lion, but my body's in like lion mode. I have had to learn all these practices to become more patient, aware of the fact that, hey, this isn't a lion. I'm not in a do or die, life or death. I don't have to react from a place of being triggered. I can respond from a place of being chill as fuck. A practice of remembering God, wherever you think of that word God, one of the things that puts in mind to me is when I have an awareness or a capacity for orienting towards infinite, divine. I don't know what divine means to you. What do you think of when you think of divine? I don't know. I think of like some lady being like, oh, it's divine or something. It's like, I don't know if divine really connects the way that like infinite, the way that grace, the way that compassion, the way that like we're being held by something, and maybe that goes a little too far. Being held, maybe the universe truly is mindless, cares very little for you. There's something liberating for me in that idea. We're on the speck of a speck of a speck, the speck of a galaxy, and the speck of a universe, on the speck of a planet, and this speck of a species, this tiny little insignificance. So it's like, hey man, why are you making such a big deal out of it? There's a lot of liberation in that. And I find a practice of remembering God, when I look back on my life exploring personal growth and development and spiritual, sort of cultivating a spiritual life, I find that phrase very simple. And yet it sort of encapsulates well, like that whole, like so much of that journey. Finding practices to remember God. Why? Because we forget. Because I forget. Because the like down on this layer, it's like fuck, fight, stay alive, right? And then a layer above that, it's like, ooh, I want this, ooh, I want that, I want this, ooh, I don't want that, I don't want that. And I'm just living life on these layers that feel like they're not the big picture, they're not the whole thing. And a practice of remembering God, source, infinite, compassion, grace, mystery. Mystery is probably the most accurate term, though I think deep down for me there is a grace at the biggest experience of the mystery is still like there's a heart there. There's a heart to it. So if you ever get a chance to go to a zikr, I'm looking for one now, to see how the Sufis do it. Now the Sufis are the mystics of Islam, right? This is Rumi, this is Hafez. There's this poet named Daniel Ladinsky who translates all of these old mystic poets. He has a book called Love Notes from God, I think it is, and in there is Rumi, Hafez, lots of people. And dude, Hafez blew my mind. These Sufis have a frequency, like they've got something really beautiful. And they do these practices that involves chanting for a certain amount of time. Chanting, this is breath, this is a you feel the vibration. You're doing it, you're repeating words in a different language you may or may not know the meaning of, but I've done this kind of chanting a lot in Sanskrit and other sorts of, and even Christian, evangelical, like singing worship songs. You're getting high singing. This is becoming a long ramble. Clearly we found a vein here. But practice of remembering God, chanting. Practice. They do a thing where you're spinning, okay? And you do that, you're literally messing with your vestibular system. You're cocked at a different, I don't know the details, but you're doing that and you're finding stabilization in the movement. And it's like a powerful practice, nervous system, somatic practice to remember God. Why? So that when you leave from here, it becomes a little bit more, it becomes easier to be remembering God. It's not like you do this once and then you're done. Why? Because we keep forgetting. Why? Because these layers of life are intoxicating, right? Buddhists call it the illusion, Maya. We get sucked into it like a magic show. We're like, how the fuck is he doing? Like a movie, and you're just in it, totally sucked in. And then like a car pulls up and you're like, wait, what? Like oh, that's right, I'm in this world. A practice of remembering God. Do you have one? Have you explored anything? What works for you? What works for you right now? If there's something I've learned on this, it's that it's kind of shifting, changing over time. I'm trying different things. Ask me specific questions. I'll answer what I'm able to, and maybe make more videos on it. Okay, thanks for dealing with the ramble. Shout out to Fara for these, my hunch is, I know bags. I literally look at bags for a living, and my hunch is they spend a lot of time on every little nook and cranny of this thing. And I love it when I can feel the perspective and the purpose of a designer in the product itself, just like feeling a songwriter in a song. Maybe that's cheesy as fuck, but welcome to the channel. Subscribe if you like it. All right, thanks for watching. Be yourself. Everyone else is taken. Bye.